Allahu ta'ala anhum. Many of you must heard of his name. He was a very great Sahabi, a very great companion radiyallahu ta'ala anhum. Khalid bin Walid's father's name was Walid, and his mother's name was Lubaba. The father's name was Walid, very good, mashallah, and mother's name was Lubaba. Khalid bin Walid radiyallahu anhu, he was not born as a Muslim. He was brought up in a non-Islamic household. His father was extremely rich. He had lands and gardens from Makkah Mukarramah all the way to Taif. And he made sure that his sons, he had 6 sons and 2 daughters. And among the 6 sons, one son, his name was Khalid bin Walid. So Khalid bin Walid radiyallahu anhu had many brothers, many sisters. And their father made sure that the children would be raised on learning how to use weapons, swords, shields, learning the art and skill of horse riding, and learning the art and skill of engaging in warfare and engaging in battle. So Khalid bin Walid radiyallahu right from a young age, him and all of his brothers and sisters, they had this skill inside their blood. They were experts in the field of fighting. And just as I mentioned that Khalid bin Walid radiyallahu anhu, he was not born as a Muslim. He accepted Islam afterwards. Khalid bin Walid radiyallahu anhu once, he had a wrestling match with Umar bin Khattab radiyallahu anhu whilst he was young. He was only, I would say, 12, 13, 14, 15, very young. And the narration says that he was so strong that he managed to break the ankle of Umar bin Khattab radiyallahu anhu in their wrestling bout. That's how strong he was. He was very strong. And he did not fear anyone right from a young age. Now, my young friends, on a side note, if there are any of you boys who are strong, because I've seen many of you boys wrestle outside, and I've seen many of you boys wrestle inside the masjid. So keep in mind that the masjid is not for wrestling. The masjid is for worshipping. If any of you boys are strong naturally, if you've been gifted with strength, if you've been gifted with bravery, then you should not misuse that strength or bravery. Never ever unnecessarily hurt someone. Never ever cause bodily harm. Some of you boys are causing bodily harm in the back of the masjid over there. Right in front of me. We're having a wrestling bout. One of my students was involved in a wrestling bout. Right? I called his name several times. He didn't listen to me. When the Sahaba radiyallahu anhum would fight, they would never ever hurt anyone or injure anyone, especially on the head or on the face. That would be prohibited. And if you boys are made to be separated, then don't get upset. Wholeheartedly separate. So anyways, Khalid bin Walid radiyallahu anhu, he was born as a warrior. His father trained him in such a manner that right from a young age, he had military command skills and tactics ingrained in him. Prior to accepting Islam, he fought 2 battles against the Muslims. Does anyone know what those 2 battles were? Ibrahim. MashaAllah. The Battle of Uhud and the Battle of the Trench. The Battle of Uhud took place in the 2nd year of Hijrah, and the Battle of the Trench took place, who knows, in the 4th year of Hijrah. So these two battles, Khalid bin Walid, he fought as a non-Muslim. And he was so powerful, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala granted him such talent and such intellect that during the Battle of Uhud, in the initial stages, the Muslims were winning. But after the Muslims, they left their positions, they suffered defeat on the hands of Khalid bin Walid radiyallahu anhu. So it was Khalid bin Walid, who was a non-Muslim at that time, who came from behind and he used his military tactics and he defeated the Muslims. So he gave defeat to the Muslims during the Battle of Uhud. And after the Battle of Uhud, Khalid bin Walid, his name, his reputation increased to the point where people regarded him as the best general of all time. So he was on the side of the non-Muslims during the Battle of Uhud and during the Battle of the Trench. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala granted him love for Islam during the 6th year of Hijrah at the time of Sulh Hudaybiyah. Sulh Hudaybiyah is the Treaty of Hudaybiyah. His brothers Walid and Hisham. Khalid bin Walid's brothers' names were Walid and Hisham. They had already accepted Islam before Khalid bin Walid. So the Prophet ﷺ, he wrote a letter to Khalid bin Walid and he gave it to his brother Walid to pass it to Khalid bin Walid. In that letter, the Prophet ﷺ wrote that this man is a very intelligent man. How can it be that he is not accepting Islam? So his brother Walid said to the Prophet ﷺ that don't worry, a time will come when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will guide him and bring him to you. So after the conquest of Makkah in the 8th year of Hijrah, Khalid bin Walid, when he received this letter, remember, before he even received this letter and before accepting Islam, he already had a soft spot inside of his heart for Islamic teachings. But way at the beginning, during the time of Uhud, Khalid bin Walid and his father Walid, they used to hate Islam and they used to hate the Muslims. They used to oppose Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. But over time, especially after the 6th year of Hijrah, after the Treaty of Hudaybiyah, Khalid bin Walid got an opportunity to see Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam firsthand. He saw his good morals, he saw his good characteristics. He saw him, he dealt with him, and slowly, slowly his love started to enter into his heart. And then the Prophet ﷺ, he was informed by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that the truthfulness of Islam has entered into the heart of Khalid bin Walid. But yet he had not accepted Islam. When this letter went to him and he read the letter, immediately he jumped on his horse. So in today's day and age, a person will jump into his car, not a horse, unless someone here has a horse. So horse riding is also one of the sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ. He jumped onto his horse and he traveled from Makkah Mukarramah to Medina Munawwara with 2 other individuals who accepted Islam as well. Amr bin As radiyallahu ta'ala anhu and Usman bin Talha radiyallahu ta'ala. MashaAllah. You're 10 steps ahead of me, Ibrahim. So his brother encountered him and he said, come, I will take you to Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. So in the 8th year of Hijrah, he was taken into the presence of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam and he said, Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wa ashhadu anna Muhammadan abduhu wa rasuluh. When someone says this statement, they become a Muslim. Very good, mashallah. This is called the Shahada. So if someone is interested in Islam, usually he's made to recite the formal statement of the Shahada. So Khalid bin Walid radiyallahu anhu formally became a Muslim. In which year? The 8th year Hijrah. Immediately after he became a Muslim, the Prophet ﷺ, he made him the military commander, and he sent an army with him to Sham. And they engaged in the battle of Mu'tah. So there were approximately 30,000 Muslims, and the Prophet ﷺ, you both have to listen carefully, okay? The Prophet ﷺ said that the first leader, the first commander, so the first leader, or the first Amir will be Zayd bin Haritha, mashallah, radiyallahu anhu. And if Zayd bin Haritha is martyred, then the flag will be handed over to Ja'far bin Abi Talib radiyallahu anhu. And if Ja'far bin Abi Talib is martyred, the flag will be handed over to Abdullah bin Rawaha radiyallahu anhu. This is exactly what happened in that battle. So on one side there were 30,000 Muslims, and on the other side there were 100,000 enemies. The fight ensued. And whatever the Prophet ﷺ said, that's exactly what happened. The first person who was martyred was Zayd bin Haritha. After he was martyred, the flag was picked up by Ja'far bin Abi Talib radiyallahu anhu. Do you boys know what happened to Ja'far bin Abi Talib? Yes, my friend. Yes, what happened to him? Okay, he got martyred, very good, but how did he get martyred? Who knows? Yes, you're on the right, mashallah. What happened? Yes, so first his right arm, his entire right arm was hit with a sword, because in those days they used to fight with swords. So his right arm was hit with a sword. He took the flag with his left hand. Then his left arm was hit. Now what did he do with the flag? Who knows? Yes, my friend. Yes, he took the flag and he put it between his legs. And thereafter he was hit on the back and he was martyred. So the first person who was martyred was Zayd bin Haritha. Then the flag was handed over to Ja'far bin Abi Talib. After him, the flag was handed to Abdullah bin Rawaha radiyallahu ta'ala anhu. MashaAllah. Abdullah bin Rawaha radiyallahu was also martyred. What happened next? Who knows? Ibrahim. MashaAllah. The flag was picked up by Thabit bin Aqram radiyallahu anhu. And he ran to the Muslims and he said, we need a new leader, and I believe our leader should be Khalid bin Walid radiyallahu anhu. And he gave the flag and he handed it over to him. And now Khalid bin Walid radiyallahu anhu is leading the army. After he led the army, Khalid bin Walid radiyallahu anhu successfully gave the Muslims victory. And they came back as victorious in triumph. So this was the first battle that Khalid bin Walid radiyallahu anhu fought, and he became victorious. After this battle was fought, my friend, what did the Prophet ﷺ grant him? Or what honorary status did he grant him? Yes. Close, yes. MashaAllah. So after he became victorious in the battle, that's when the Prophet ﷺ granted him the honorary status of being called Saifullah. What does Saifullah mean? The sword of Allah. Very good, mashallah. Saifullah means the sword of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. After this battle, he also engaged in another battle called Fathu Makkah, the conquest of Makkah Mukarramah. When the Muslims left Medina Munawwara to go to Makkah Mukarramah, the Prophet ﷺ, he said, no one should engage in fighting unless you are attacked. So Khalid bin Walid, Khalid bin Walid radiyallahu anhu, he led one group of Muslims and he was intercepted by Ikramah bin Abi Jahl and Safwan bin Umayyah. And a fight ensued. 30 non-Muslims were martyred and 3 Muslims were martyred. And again, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave Khalid bin Walid victory. A third battle, known as the Battle of Hunain. So what was the first battle's name? Who knows? Muhammad, my friend, what was the first battle's name? The Battle of, sorry? Badr. Is that what you said? Badr, no. Yes, my friend, yes. No, the first battle that he won as a Muslim. Yes. Yes, my friend. Hassan, right? You're very close. The Battle of? Yes. No, the Battle of Ibrahim? Muta, very good, mashallah. And the second battle was the conquest of Makkah, and the third battle was the Battle of Hunain. After the demise of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he was reassigned to the highest post once again as a Muslim commander in the time of Abu Bakr radiyallahu ta'ala anhu. And again, Allah granted him victory. Now, do you know what happened during the time of Umar bin Khattab radiyallahu anhu? Who knows? Yes. Do you know what happened, my friend? What happened? Who knows? Ibrahim, what happened? Dismissed him, yes. Do you know why? Who knows why? Why was Khalid bin Walid removed from his post during the time of Umar bin Khattab radiyallahu ta'ala anhu? Hassan. Mashallah. Where did you hear that answer from? Where did you hear that answer? What's that? YouTube. Mashallah. Very good. Hassan gave an excellent answer. Do you know why Umar bin Khattab radiyallahu anhu, he removed and demoted Khalid bin Walid from his position despite him being the best military commander and general? Because Umar bin Khattab radiyallahu anhu, he did not want the Muslims' focus to be on one person. Rather, he wanted the focus to be on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Do you boys know that Khalid bin Walid was undefeated? He never ever lost a single battle, whether he was fighting against the Muslims or whether he was fighting with the Muslims. He fought approximately 125 battles. Ramiz, how many battles did he fight? 125. And he was undefeated. Undefeated. Never lost a single battle. So Umar bin Khattab, instead of appointing Khalid bin Walid Yafi, he appointed, who knows? Who did he appoint? Who did he appoint? Abu Ubaidah bin Jarrah radiyallahu ta'ala, mashallah. And what did Khalid bin Walid do? Aqib, my friend, what did Khalid bin Walid do after Abu Ubaidah bin Jarrah was appointed? Aqib, yes. Aqib, my friend, yes. I'm asking Aqib. Zuhair, what did he do? What did Khalid bin Walid do when Abu Ubaidah bin Jarrah was appointed the military commander during the reign of Umar bin Khattab radiyallahu anhu? Who knows? My friend, yes. Hassan. Muiz, yes, Muiz. You don't know? Yes, my friend. No. Khalid bin Walid, radiallahu anhu, he was still actively engaged in his service, but now he was not the military commander, rather, he was the lieutenant. That means he was a deputy of the commander. He was at number 2 now. He was at number 2. Just imagine, let's say if I appoint one of you boys as the supervisor to watch over all these boys. Let's say I appoint Ramiz. And Ramiz, for 125 days, he does an excellent job. He's overlooking everything. He looks after all the kids. He's supervising everything. And not one single child even says ooh or ah. And then all of a sudden I say, Ramiz, today we are going to dismiss you and we are going to make Mu'iz the commander. How will Ramiz feel? Ramiz, how will you feel? Happy? Confused, right? Khalid bin Walid, radiyallahu anhu, he still fought as aggressively as a lieutenant, just as he fought aggressively as a commander. Nothing changed. Nothing changed. Okay, one last point that I'm going to mention. Khalid bin Walid, radiyallahu anhu, when he fought in the Battle of Mu'tah, my friend, he had the sword broken over his hand how many times? 9 times. That means he was injured with a sword 9 times. And right before his demise, right before he passed away, because he passed away on his bed, he was crying, he was sobbing, he was saying to Allah, oh Allah, throughout my entire life, I've fought so many battles. And every single spot on my body has been injured and wounded, either by arrows or by swords. So just imagine, every single spot was afflicted with wounds and with injury. And he said, oh Allah, I am crying because I am unable to die in your cause and on the battlefield. Rather, I am dying on the bed. Oh Allah, accept my service. And then he passed away. So now I'm going to ask you boys questions, okay? Number 1. Was Khalid bin Walid, radiyallahu anhu, was he born as a Muslim? Hashir. No, very good. How many brothers and sisters did Khalid bin Walid have? Yes, my friend.
Yes, 6 brothers and 2 sisters.
MashaAllah. It seems like you boys are not even listening, but you're capturing everything, MashaAllah. Very good. Was Khalid bin Walid always in favor of Islam and the Muslims, or did he hate the Muslims and Islam? Yes, my friend. Sonic. Sonic, yes. It says Sonic there. MashaAllah. Which 2 battles did he fight against the Muslims? Hassan. The Battle of Uhud and the Battle of the Trench, MashaAllah. When did he accept Islam? Hands up. Yes, my friend. Very good, but which year was that? 8th year of Hijrah, MashaAllah. What was the first battle that Khalid bin Walid fought as a Muslim? Yafi, what was the first battle that he fought as a Muslim? Sorry? Maybe it's time to listen, Yafi. Very good. Can someone describe the details of the Battle of Mu'tah? Ibrahim. Zayd bin Haritha. Jafar radiyallahu anhu. MashaAllah. Who was selected as the leader? Yes. Khalid bin Walid. Radiyallahu, MashaAllah. What was the honorary title that he was granted by Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam? Ramiz. In Arabic, how do we say it? Saifullah. Very good. The sword of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. What was the next battle that he fought? After the battle of Muta? Very close. He said Hunain. That was the third battle. The second battle? Yes. Osman. I need the exact name, yes. Fathu Makkah. In English it's called? The conquest of Makkah, mashallah. After the conquest of Makkah, which battle did he fight? You just said it. Hunain, very good, mashallah. Can someone tell me what did he say when he was about to die? I need a detailed answer. Yes, my friend. Yes. You're on the right track, but I need more detail. Muiz. Yes, but you're missing a very big and important part. Yes, my friend. Very good. He wanted to die on the battlefield, but he died on his bed. But what did he say in respect to his wounds and injuries? Muhammad. Yes, he had wounds and injuries on every single part of his body. There was no part of his body which was free of any wounds. Okay, now before we get up, I need you boys to listen, okay? All those boys who are age 4, 5, and 6. If you're age 4, 5, and 6, quietly make your way to the back. 4, 5, and 6. 4, 5, and 6-year-olds. Quietly make your way to the back. Shh. Okay, 7, 8, and 9. 7, 8, and 9.